Looked at the yellow, it's not on. It's quite difficult snooker to escape from and leave the balls in safe positions.
They met in the final in 2017 here. Win on the day for O'Sullivan, 10-3. Trump, as mentioned, has 3 times made the title match in this event, but it's one of the few he's yet to claim. Lost that extraordinary final to John Higgins 12 years ago now when he was 5-0 up, 7-2 up. Higgins made a maximum on his way to the final frame deciding win, and it was a similar story against Kyron Wilson. He was denied in a decider in 2015, the now world champion's maiden ranking title.
It looks like he's making an attempt to get to one of those 2 reds down the table, but the gap is not very big. The pink's kind of in the way.
Foul. And a miss.
So that's why he was shaking his head. The natural path through of 2 cushions to the bottom reds was just where the pink was situated. Sometimes with this game, you know, people miss the little nudges. Sullivan got in and was unlucky not to be on a red to middle. The Trump safety shot was not very good, but he got the fluke, and now he is in prime position to take advantage through a little bit of good fortune.
Four. Five.
Hasn't been seriously tested so far, Judd Trump. That's surely going to change today. Took out Mark Williams with a couple of centuries, 6-2. Similar story against Si Jiahui.
10.
Turns 35 next month, Judd Trump, so he's still got bags of time already.
11.
With 28 ranking titles to match the tally of the great Steve Davis, going for his 40th professional title this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things you can say about the season to come, which we're just into now, is that this man is going to win something.
16.
And probably going to win more than just one event. He's going to win tournaments along the way, as he invariably does.
17.
Question of how many and how big the tournaments are going to be, more than anything else.
And in terms of being prolific, of course, these were the 2 standout players from last season. 5 titles apiece. Trump becoming only the 5th player to win 3 ranking titles in a row, put together a 22-match winning streak at one stage. And so it was a surprise when he struggled at the World
24.
Championship in his match against Jack Jones. And of course, Ronnie O'Sullivan was also beaten in the quarterfinals by Stuart Bingham. So the anticipated showdown never came to pass at the Crucible this time.
Yeah, I think you'd have got
30.
big odds on the Trump-O'Sullivan semi-final end up Jack Jones, Stuart Bingham, but they did it on merit. What a surprising miss that is.
30.
He was, when you stay down on it, you kind of knew that he hadn't quite got the angle right. It was always top jaw and stayed there.
One.
Just the four frames, I should say, dropped by O'Sullivan, like Trump, to get this far. He beat the wildcard Zhou Jinhao, who had had a fantastic win over Zhang Anda in the first round, 6-1, and then, of course, Ding 6-3.
But it's a little error strewn this opening frame as the two players look to get to grips with conditions and the occasion. It's a brilliant pot. I must admit I was surprised he played that red as opposed to the one down the left side of the table because it looked more difficult, but it was beautifully struck. The problem here is really what happens
About the two reds on the left that are on the cushion, because they will be, you would think, the key to how this frame develops and who wins it. He tried to just get inside that left hand, that right hand red. Finished just to the left of it and beyond the other one, I think. Plant is just a bridge too far. I think the two reds is just not really an option. So the frame is still up for grabs.
Jack Trump 6.
Catching the jaw of that left corner pocket was clearly not intended by O'Sullivan as he left this red past the others for Trump. He has.
1.
Yeah, the problem is still there. He'll try again, I think, to get to the right-hand red. And this time he's played it a lot better. That's a good shot. That was what he tried on the previous effort, where he just came to the right of
6.
the red, and that was end of break.
You're pretty much guaranteed that both of these players are going to make bags of breaks in this match, so it could well come down to these tighter frames as to who goes through to the title match tomorrow.
7.
Well, he wanted to be straight on this so he could just run it through and be on the red to the opposite. He probably have to play on the red to the same pocket as the black now, so he has to get behind this. Nothing wrong with that. So the last shot, really, then, of the frame of any importance coming up. Frame ball.
40. 15.
Nothing like getting the first frame of a big match like this on the board. Trump missed the easy red into the left centre earlier in the frame, but O'Sullivan then missed a blue. Ultimately, it was a safety error from O'Sullivan that has seemingly cost him the frame. Especially now the black has gone in.
$22. Jack Trump, 22 from conceded.
Ronnie O'Sullivan concedes. First blood then to Judd Trump, the 3 times Shanghai Masters finalist, hoping to go one step further this weekend, has made the ideal start. He leads Ronnie O'Sullivan 1-0.
Walker's snacks. They're just too good to share. Walker's snacks. Where do you hide yours?
Build a plan and make it yours with 3 Your Way. Get a massive 9 months half price on an unlimited SIM-only value plan from $15.50 a month on 3. Plus awesome extras like 28 days of worldwide roaming from £31 a month from month 10. Visit us in-store or online today. Life needs a big network.
New gadget, Albert?
No, this is my smart meter display. It shows how much energy I'm using daily, weekly, and monthly, which could help me make changes to save energy.
So it's not a time machine?
Of course not, Darren. That's in the shed.
For extra help managing your household budgets, search Get a Smart Meter today.
Look at you, an absolute legend. Not you, Frank. You switch to QuickBooks for simple, smart accounting software. Brilliant value at a shock-free price.
Yeah, I like that.
And you get real help from real people. That's how you business differently. Intuit QuickBooks.
All Motorpoint cars are subjected to the most rigorous of checks, come with a warranty and a price match promise. There's no car like a Motorpoint car.
The 30th meeting between this pair of snooker giants. Ronnie O'Sullivan breaking off in frame 2. Judd Trump winning a pretty tight opening frame after O'Sullivan made a safety error. Both having had chances previously. Very early stages of the first 10 of 2 sections. 8 more frames in this one. And a possible 10 in the evening session.
I think safety play actually is as important as anything on these scoring friendly tables. You've got to make sure the first chance goes your way rather than your opponent. This is snooker at the highest level, usually a chance given away. Make sure second favourite in the frame. So these early exchanges are quite important before the chance comes. Knocking the blue awkwardly doesn't really help either of these two. O'Sullivan intent on covering that red up the table with the green, as he seems to have done. Oh, what a pot that is, goodness me. I think Ronnie was delighted with the safety shot he played. Just rolls that long red in. Brilliant shot.
8.
Well, as terrific as the first red was, that was a big surprise that he missed the next red he played. Bit awkward queuing, perhaps. Didn't get it thin enough, the pot.
One.
Now, is he going to get the bunch open here from green? Quite a big target. Not big enough.
Four.
It's almost a question of playing that shot a fraction slower so the backspin can take more readily and you end up going into them. He kind of slightly overhit it, perhaps. Peggy Lee very interested in how close O'Sullivan was to that blue ball with the sleeve of his shirt.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 5.
One word for that shot, kick. Definitely a bad contact. Ball's jumped. It's a bit of a ragged start. A lot of anticipation on this match, but mistakes have been made both with pots and safety already.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
It's one of those shots. It was dead straight, but he hoped to pot it into one side of the pocket, and of course then the keeper would not have followed it in. So the errors continue. That's pretty good. And he's a pretty good safety shot. He'd located an area on the table which he felt was going to be troublesome for his opponent. Now, while he's not in the world of trouble, he can get to reds. To escape back to the bulk area from there is not easy. Having a look at these two reds, would he even attempt the plant? With safety in mind, screwing it back? It's not really one of his shots, that, is it? I mean, he's not got the kind of cue power that maybe his opponent has got these days. But he had no other shot available to him. Trying to get back to a safe area has not worked.
One.
was a spectacular return to the winner's enclosure for Trump last season, because of course the season before he didn't actually win a ranking event. He won the Masters for a second time without playing his very best snooker until the back end of the title match with Mark Williams, but ranking success eluded him. Last season a very different story, of course. 5 more to the tally. He already owns the record of winning 6 in a single campaign.
That's pretty good. He's not absolutely behind the black, but it was very nicely steered through that opening and round the table. Had it gone 2 or 3 boards width further, it would have been A1. It's got to let the cue ball travel again here. No, didn't mean it down that corner. Goodness me. All kinds going on here. The match has got so much potential, of course. Don't need anyone me to tell you that, but just things are not quite unfolding as the players expect. It's a terrific red. This is not part of the plan.
Safety is obviously going to be a key element to this match, because we know how devastating both of them are when they get in. Both terrific long potters. Nice shot. He hoped to get the cue ball around the table, but of course he didn't. Once the pot goes in, it doesn't matter so much. What a chance this is now. You can get from colour to red. Strong favourite in the frame. Not bad.
3.
Use the rest or play right-handed.
Well,
a few chances have been squandered, but you won't want that to happen here. This is a wonderful opportunity. Red surrounding the black, all available, all of which will take him over the line.
$11. 12. 19.
A tour leading
20.
79 centuries for Judd Trump last season. At one stage, he looked as though he could be on to make 100 hundreds for the second time, having become the second player to achieve that after Neil Robertson. It was an extraordinary
27.
exhibition of consistency in these big events. Not just the 5 titles he won, he was runner-up in 3 others.
28. $35. 36.
So any colour with this red will be okay. That'll be too many.
43. $44.
Such a good opening red. He saw a way of getting the cue ball back, but as I say, he didn't quite manage that part of it. But the red flew in. I think sensibly making sure of that black. No need to be doing anything too flash, which would mean you might miss
51.
the pot. Snooker's needed.
2 of them.
Jack Trump, 51 from conceded.
And Ronnie O'Sullivan elects not to try and play for them. So, a perfect start for Judd Trump. A few errors early in that frame, but Trump has doubled his lead. 2-0.
EE's big summer savers are here. Surf with our ultra-fast full-fiber broadband. You'll get speeds of 150 megabits per second. That's 4 times faster than our standard fiber. So you can stream all the latest summer blockbusters while the kids game with their friends. All powered by BT for just $29.99 a month with no upfront costs. It's no wonder broadband switchers choose EE. Hurry, offer ends 22nd of August.
Book summer now with the Which Travel Brand of the Year 2024. Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust. After protected.
I ordered these yesterday, they turned up today, and I paid them off next month. This is the way.
See now, pay later with deferred payment and next day delivery at select specs.
Oh, check you out being all healthy.
So skinny.
Show me what you got. Brian.
Muller Light. Get the good going.
Advantage Judd Trump in the early stages. 2 frames on the board. Not that Ronnie O'Sullivan will be panicking, of course. In the World Grand Prix final last season, Trump won the first 4 frames, but was ultimately denied 10-7. Nevertheless, it's just the start he would have wanted in his bid to score his first victory over O'Sullivan in 6 attempts. Trump rather anxiously moving back to his chair. Well, that was a chance for O'Sullivan. The red went. So it's a slightly scratchy start from the defending champion, who's done more than enough to get this far without hitting the heights, as he himself admitted after his victory over Ding. I'm sure he'll feel he needs to raise his game today.
Yeah, I think he started well. It's just the way the first frame panned out. He didn't open the reds up as he would have wanted, and now he finds himself in a two-frame deficit already. I don't think Judd has played all that well to get there. It seems a long way off the target of 10, but you know, you can fall frames behind at this level. It's quite hard to get them back.
One. Eight. Nine. $16. $17.
Now what does he do here? He's got the chance to go into them, nudge into them. Not so much a nudge, but there you go. That's where the luck went the other way this time. I wonder if that was something he could have been expecting if he looked at the bunch.
17. O'Sullivan, 5.
Well, it was a 3-ball plant. I mean, hitting across, halfway across the first red. I don't think you can expect that to drop in, that red. It flew in fact.
As did that.
Wow.
Goodness.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you can do on that shot. You can only hit the top of the cue ball. He knew the in-off was close. He just hoped it would just wriggle and stay out. So he just can't quite get into the match for whatever reason. Trump had a little bit of bad fortune, but anyway, Roddy could have played that better. Maybe was slower and not reaching the pocket, but even then, wouldn't have been an easy shot to be rolling it. I get the feeling O'Sullivan could really do with this frame. I know that's an obvious statement, but you don't want to be having a repeat of the 2019 Masters where Trump actually led 7-1 at the end of that session at the Ali Pali. Comfortably won the match.
Meanwhile, a very useful nudge off the brown to snooker Trump and all reds.
Foul. Enemies. O'Sullivan, 4.
And a very big target there. I'm surprised didn't make some sort of a contact. There is a red that might go through the gap. Cue ball heading up to the bulk end if he plays it. Yeah, that red clearly goes. Cue ball's coming away from all the big colours in the process. That's a good shot. He's done well to hold there. So is this the moment when the O'Sullivan campaign begins, if you like, where he just finds a bit of form, gets a frame on the board and eases into the match?
His highest break so far, just 24, but still, of course, very early. That's the beauty of these two-session matches. Plenty of time for players to find their form. We saw that yesterday with Murphy, who was outplayed in the first session against Mark Selby, managed to get out of it in reasonable shape at 6-3 when it might have been 7-2, and then turned it on spectacularly in the second session.
Nine. Ten. Seventeen. 18. 25. 26.
'Still got work to do here.
33.
But an angle on the black would suggest he's going to make enough from this visit. So this shot. Just off straight. I think he's all right here. The left-hand red goes to right middle. What is that little check on there? Played into an area instead.
41. 42.
Conditions have been superb this week, even the way that O'Sullivan is stroking these balls around the table. The table is still lightning fast.
We've had 26 centuries in all coming into this second semi-final. Barry Hawkins 1-4-1 is still in pole position for the £10,000 bonus.
Yeah, I mean, time is running out to beat it, but I still think it will be beaten. Barry's probably back in the UK now and hoping that that's not the case, but I don't think 1-4-1 is by any means safe on these tables with these players.
Well, that was the key ball for O'Sullivan, so he's got himself on the scoreboard. He's taken these with typical fluency. A couple of in-offs back-to-back in this frame. Trump a bit unlucky to knock a red in, potting the blue, and then, of course, O'Sullivan going in off his initial red, but back in and getting the job done.
Yes, I suppose with this visit it would have been a surprise if he hadn't won the frame from it. But there have been a few errors. If you're just tuning in, you haven't seen it from the start. Mistakes have been made. Often in this highly anticipated matches, it kind of goes like that in the early stages. Both players are a little bit edgy, perhaps, desperate to make their mark.
77.
You often hear O'Sullivan speaking in our Eurosport studio when he's doing his punditry about how the first session of a match like this is often a case of jostling for position, just making sure you're in contention going into
88.
The sharp end of the match in session 2. And with that in mind, this frame was important for him.
95.
And he's cleared the table with 95 to join the battle here in Shanghai. Judd Trump's lead is halved. Trump leading by 2 frames to 1.
We've got anemic moon. We've got scrubbed cauliflower. Do you not have just white paint? Poached smoke. Snowman's bone.
What a load of malarkey. We keep things simple. Less malarkey, more smarty. Search Smarty Mobile.
One moment you're reading about another beast from the east, and the next...
No.
Go somewhere hot! You're a millionaire! Lotto makes 2 millionaires a week on average. Will you be next?
Vitality rewards you for getting active, with up to 2 months cashback on your premiums. Get in! Move forward with Vitality.
With Stenaline, every journey is made for you. We make it just right. Long gone, as it's said in Sweden. It's time spent well with friends and family. Relaxing, comfortable spaces. Simple, but perfect surroundings. Caring for one another. Understanding that big little things can make a big difference.
Take your car to Ireland or Holland from only £139 single car and driver. Say yes to a great travel experience at stenaline.co.uk.
Ronnie O'Sullivan coming to the party in style, a break of 95, clearing the table to halve the deficit, so Judd Trump 2-1 up, 1 more frame before the first mid-session interval. A total of 9 in this session, and the target, of course, is 10 for the right to play Sean Murphy, who was quite outstanding yesterday, and said afterwards he was looking forward to seeing these two bash each other up and go to the wire while he had the day off. Every chance that'll happen. Could be nip and tuck all the way in this one. But O'Sullivan will feel part of the match now. It was slightly frustrating first couple of frames for him. But into the groove now. 2-1 to Trump. It's been a frustrating tournament for Judd Trump down the years. Those 3 finals, 2 of which he lost in a deciding frame.
Foul. Enemies. Jack trump 4.
Yes, I think he played it with a trace of Ryan's side, so it's quite hard to get the thin edge there when you do that. Going back though, so he'll have to play it well, and of course this replacement is never easy when there's a thin edge available of a pot. So Peggy Lee will have to do a good job here just to get the balls back correctly.
Yep. Foul.
It must have been replaced correctly because it's exactly the same shot. And it's going to go back again. What if O'Sullivan's got access to a red full ball here, which means he'll get warned? I don't know. We'll have to have a look at the setup. It's one thing being able to hit one in the middle of the bunch, but why would you want to hit that red? I suppose only if you have to. Yeah, he'll get warned here because he can get to reds fully. I think that's what Peggy Lee is now looking at. No warning?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, maybe he can't get to red fully, but I feel that from there he could. And that would have been the 3 strikes rule, because you've got to be able to hit full on, not both sides of a red. Maybe the angle we've got is deceptive.
Crowd appreciating that safety from Judd Trump. It is a vital part of today's match, given the heavyweight scoring that both bring to the table. Who can create more opportunities with the safety and in turn keep their opponent under pressure away from a long pot.
Foul.
It's the worst way to miss one.
Jack trump 4.
Leave the red that you're trying to hit. And now I think the black may just creep into the right corner if you can just run this in slowly and be on it.
One.
Not that time, but the shot still remains that if the black goes, he can land on a red and be on the black, and all of a sudden he could be in business here.
Six. Seven.
A little straight on this. probably the best he could do.
Fourteen. Jatrom, 14.
Yeah, it was quite a thin pot there. Mistakes still happening on both sides.
One. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Not the most ambitious safety shot ever played, just freeing up the green and brown, I think. But of course, playing off the side of the bunch, if he does here, there's always a chance of red will go close to one of the right, one of the corner pockets, probably the right side.
I mentioned that Trump is going for his 40th professional title this weekend. For O'Sullivan, it would be his 80th. And he's found the thin edge of the red.
Three.
Oh, what a miss.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
For no
3.
apparent reason, he looks quite surprised. We're quite surprised. I mean, this is pretty regulation. Well, he can get to enough of the red to hit it, but not necessarily to pot it, judging by player view there. I guess the bottom line is if O'Sullivan loses this frame, he'll be thinking about that easy red. But he's still very much in the frame right now. On the balance of play, it's hard to say either player really deserves to be that far in front. 2-all feels like a more realistic score. Maybe Trump's been slightly better, but not much.
The other thing is that they're both very wary of one another. They know how dangerous the other can be. The pressure, I guess, is a little more on Trump today, though, to reverse the recent trend. He was looking good to do that, as mentioned, at the World Grand Prix last season in the final when he led 4-0, but ultimately lost 10-7. And was well below par when they played in the Riyadh Season World Masters of Snooker Invitational. Albeit that was over the best of 7, but Trump really didn't show up that day, beaten 4-1.
Yeah, of course, best of 7 with an extra ball on the table at the beginning of frames, that golden ball which was placed just below where the brown is now, right in the middle of the cushion. It barely moved, and of course when a maximum break was not available, it was taken off the table, so it didn't really play much of a part. But I think John Higgins got to the yellow for a maximum during the course of that event. It'll happen at some point, because maximums do happen, but they don't happen at will.
Trump couldn't have got much closer to that long red.
Yeah, that looks a good shot. That's a congested side of the table on the right on this occasion. There is the top red, thin contact cue might be coming back down towards the blue on the return. He's avoided all that. That's a good shot. Significant exchange this, because the balls are pretty well placed for the first person to get in. Great pot, and the cue ball was also pretty well played, because that was also a big part of the last shot. He doesn't want to be straight on the green. He deserves an angle, and the balls were just about to come to rest. I don't think he has a great angle.
Four. Five.
It was a quite brilliant long red from Judd Trump. Didn't touch the sides, and we've seen so many of those down the years from him, not least in that world final against John Higgins, when
12.
Higgins just could not hide the cue ball.
13. $20. 21.
Yeah, just gone through the gap far enough, so it's okay.
28.
50-point lead and more to come, you feel here.
Just magnifies
29.
the significance of that glaring error from O'Sullivan when he was in, missed the red from short range into the right pocket. Didn't cost him in terms of a chance for Trump at the time, but it meant that he missed the opportunity to level the scores at the interval, and that brilliant long red just now from Trump appears to have set him up for a 3-1 lead. 58 in
36.
front, 75 on, so a couple more reds for a very satisfactory start to this semi-final for Trump.
37.
Hasn't played his best, but he's played well enough.
Thanks. $43. 44.
Applause for frame ball. Trump will be delighted with this. O'Sullivan made a 95 break,
49.
but aside from that, hasn't quite hit his straps as yet.
50. 55.
I think the match will get better and better. I think these early frames, as we say, it's just a bit
56.
nervy for both players. You've got to sort of get your stamp on the match, and it's been quite hard for either to do it. But Judd is now beginning to do that. He's taken 3 of the frames, so he'll be more than happy, given he knows he can play better than this himself.
63. 64. 71.
Enough there for a 4th century of the tournament for Trump.
72.
In terms of rate of making centuries, he's right up there with O'Sullivan.
79.
Closing in on 1,000 for his career.
81.
Of course, he turned pro 13 years after his opponent today. Incredible talent.
84.
The youngest player at 14 to make a competitive maximum.
$88. 93.
Yeah, if this does become a century, I figure it will not be the last in this match. I reckon
99.
about 4 between these two players. We saw 4 last night from Sean Murphy, but this has been a much better break than anything that's gone before.
Century number 984 for Judd Trump's decorated career. The crowd enjoying that. Ronnie O'Sullivan less so. Trump will be the happier of the two going into the first mid-session interval. That break launched by a brilliant long red, and Trump leads by 3 frames to 1. 10 is the target.
Something to remember. What a story we are seeing!
An unmissable 2024 cycling season. Live on Discovery Plus.
Yo, can I kick it? Yes.
Can I kick it?
Yeah.
Can I play?
Can I kick it? Can I kick it?
Can I try?
당연하지.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can.
Walker's snacks. They're just too good to share. Walker's snacks. Where do you hide yours?
Switch to a SIM-only deal from your 24-month contract and you could save £321. Now that's worth celebrating. Visit uswitch.com.
The Miller family know stuff. They know that today they'll breeze into the heart of London for less than you'd think. They know they can catch up on a book, a podcast, or an alien splatting session from their comfortable reclining seats. They also know not to stare directly into the eyes of Zalahula. If you know, you go. National Express.
Hey Sainsbury's, kids get all summer off. What do we get?
Well, you know what's hard to beat? A taste of difference picnic in the park.
Or turn a Wednesday night into an epic barbecue night.
Want to serve up a great summer for everyone? Ask Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's, good food for all of us.
Xero accounting software can help keep your business finances running smoothly. Search Xero with an X because healthy business is beautiful business.
You're looking good, you're looking sharp. You've come so far, and you know how to make the most of who you are. Father to son, doing what you've always done.
Gillette Labs, our next generation of shaving for the best a man can get.
So far, so good for Judd Trump, leading Ronnie O'Sullivan at the first interval 3-1. By that 4th century of the tournament for him. And a chance to catch up on what was an outstanding display in the first semi-final yesterday from Sean Murphy. Remember, Mark Selby was 6-2 up. And Mr. Pink, when he was looking good for 7-2. But in the evening, Murphy turned the tables in amazing fashion. He made 4 centuries. And played quite brilliantly to win 8 of the last 10 frames. That takes some doing against Selby, Neil.
It does. There's a few things about all that, isn't there, yesterday? How snooker can be a game played in the mind as much as on the table, in that, you know, you start the match and you say to Mark Selby, you're going to be 6-3 up going into tonight. You'd be delighted with that. You'd be taking it all day long. But as he walked off, there was just something in the back of his mind that knows it should have been 7-2.
41.
Still pleased with it, but at night he went for a long red, missed it, got a double kiss, and Sean Murphy made 140. So immediately he's on the back foot. He made a very significant break to go 8-5 instead of 7-6. So Selby would have been happier then than Murphy. But then it was just a complete onslaught from the Magician. He played so well after the last mid-session break that Selby, I can hardly remember him really having anything to go at. So that's why these matches are longer.
47.
They're over 2 long sessions, and you might be dominating for a large percentage, but if you don't do so at the end, then that's why you lose. Murphy was really good, and even when it got to the point where he got back into it, I mean, here you can see he's come right back from 8-5 to 9-8 up, and sometimes the pressure will just get back onto the player
48
who is chasing the game and is no longer chasing the game. The dynamic changes. Murphy just kept going. I've seen him do before. He looks in very good form. No doubt he's been putting in the hours.
I think you're right. The most impressive element of Murphy's performance was
55.
finding himself at 8-5 despite having played so well on the resumption. Had nothing to show for it in terms of closing the gap, but the way he came out after the final interval to win 5 in a row, the way in which he did it was extraordinary.
That's where those mini breaks sometimes help, isn't it? Because they don't play right through, and he looks a little bit, well, I was going to say demoralised. That's not quite as strong as that, but he was certainly very disappointed to be 8-5 down, because he'd done a lot of hard work. He'd been the better player at night. The first 4 frames were shared despite that. So to ramp it up a notch and win all the remaining frames was a great effort.
61.
And this form that he's shown is, I think we mentioned it earlier, certainly you did, that, you know, if you hadn't seen any of these people play before, you'd say, well, he's favourite going into the final. Whoever he plays out of O'Sullivan and Trump, clearly it's not that simple. But he is playing well.
Yeah, his record against O'Sullivan is certainly not favourable, although he has beaten him in big finals before, Premier League and Champion of Champions. Certainly on form, I think, absolutely, he would be the man to beat. Last night's display was comfortably the best snooker of the week. And he did say afterwards that he was looking forward to watching O'Sullivan and Trump slog it out, as he put it, until the small hours while he rests up and looks forward to the final. But if he can replicate the form that he showed against Selby, well, he will take a lot of stopping.
One thing I do believe in is that I don't think that it'll make any difference whether you play your semi-final and you get a day's break, or you just carry on, play on the second day. I've never been a believer that makes a difference.
77.
Sometimes a day off can just take you out of the tournament a little bit at this stage.
78.
But if he sees it as an advantage, then all credit. You'll look for any edge you can get, I suppose. Don't think it'll be a factor, though. Players run on adrenaline at the latter stages of an event. It's not about how tired you feel or anything like that.
86.
And it's good to see Murphy queuing this well again early season, because last season, aside from the Championship League, which he won right at the start of the campaign, was disappointing, of course. He didn't go past the round of 16 in any other ranking event. And of course, the season before, he'd been brilliant in winning both the Players and the Tour Championships. So to play this well so early in the new campaign augurs well for Murphy. What a pot that was. This was some break. I mean, there were so many of them.
$101. 102. 103. 107. 109. 112.
Well, his cueing has always been good to watch, but at the end of a break like this, where the match is won, must be feeling good, ultra confident. He's got a lovely cue action, Murphy. Always has had. And it was working quite beautifully in the semi-final in the evening session.
He's also a showman, Murphy. I think the bigger the occasion, the more he relishes the opportunity. The blue stayed out, but what a way to finish. What an evening of snooker it was. And I'm sure Mark Selby was saying there, congratulations on a brilliant performance. You were just too good on the night. And he was delighted, not only with the win, the manner of the victory, and he'll be hoping he can produce something close to that in the final. If he does, he could well have his name on the trophy. 3-1 trump at the interval.
Who said electricity can't be adventurous? Who said adventure needs time to recharge? The award-winning Nissan X-Trail with e-Power and e-Force all-wheel drive. A unique electrified experience, unplugged.
We're in the land of the birds now.
Okay, nature boy, what's that bird then?
It's a male finch. They give seeds to females in a bonding ritual.
We love potatoes. So you can love Walkers. Walkers, Britain's most loved crisps.
Did you want one, love? My car's just broken down. I'm gonna need to borrow my dad's.
Cover it for an hour. So I can pick up my new car. Tomorrow.
Cover it for a day.
How are we going to get all this in?
Auntie Rachel's car?
Cover it for a week.
For temporary car insurance fast, you could get a quote in under 2 minutes. Go on, join the 2.5 million who just got on the road.
Temporary cover at tempcover.com.
If you're taking a trip with your friends, why pay for 4 hotel rooms to stay apart? When you could get 1 Airbnb and stay together.
The $3.95 trial set with our sharpest ever Truman razor. Get started now at harrys.com. Harry's. Feel good, fellas.
All Motorpoint cars are subjected to the most rigorous of checks, come with a warranty and a price match promise. There's no car like a Motorpoint car.
Big cheer for the return of the players for the second half of this first session, our second semi-final here at the Shanghai Masters. These two players battling out for the right to play Shaun Murphy in the title match on Sunday. Peggy Lee confirming that Judd Trump will get us back underway, and he'll be very happy with the way things have gone so far. That brilliant long red helping him to a 4th tournament century and a 3-1 lead in his bid to win his first match over O'Sullivan in 6 attempts.
Well, the red up the table is the problem. He can't play into the bulk area because he'll leave an easy safety shot come snooker for his opponent. So, I suppose it's a different sort of a safety shot, but it's containing it, if nothing else. I suppose the other thing to say about these two, they're going to play each other again this season at some point. I don't know quite when or where. Who knows, it could be a world final or something. But they're going to play each other again, and as we've said, you know, they've run up sequences of wins against each other, so in a big event like this, to get the upper hand might just bode well for a match in the future. I know for now it's all about today because this is a big tournament. And that cue ball has raced out round the table and come outside of bulk. What a pot that was. It's where he's so dangerous when he's playing well. It's hard to contain.
Five. Six. $13. 14.
If you were compiling a list of the greatest long potters in the history of the game, Trump would certainly be right up there. Neil Robertson, certainly a candidate.
22.
Mark Williams. And Ronnie O'Sullivan's long game is arguably better now than it's ever been. But you just get the feeling that Trump, having established that little
27.
cushion, is now growing in confidence, looking to push on in this session.
Yes, there's always the danger that you can almost win the match in session one, isn't there, if you get such a huge lead. As I say, Mark Selby might have got there with a 7-2 lead yesterday, but the fact that he didn't get 7-2 might be the reason he's not in tomorrow's final. You don't think that there's going to ever be much between these two players, but you can never be sure of it. Now, is he going to try and get these reds open here? And to force this in if he is. Wow, he's got some cue powers. I mean, he didn't really have a particularly wide angle on the blue, but he thundered it in with all that cue speed. This is a wonderful shot because it's not the most natural angle to split the reds to that extent that he had.
34. 40. 41.
Yes, once again, top side, and such an easy shot to just run down on reds, which had been opened up due to that brilliant shot he played with all that force a few back.
46. 47. 53. 54.
Well, if you're sitting in Ronnie O'Sullivan's chair right now, this will be concerning. Trump has found a new level. A brilliant red and then the wonderful split of the bunch of reds to create this chance to extend his lead. It's not just that he's going to be moving 4-1 up, barring something unforeseen here, but it's the way he's doing it.
60.
Yeah, he stepped up a notch, hasn't he, from a fairly nervy start. It wasn't that it was completely error-strewn. The balls didn't exactly run perfectly for either player, but there were chances squandered as well, or positionally, in the case of
61.
Trump. But I think he made the point with O'Sullivan. He was getting into his stride, and then he missed a pretty basic red to the right corner, and frame 4. Now he's on the back foot, I think, as a consequence.
Yes, it's going to be fascinating to see how O'Sullivan responds to this. We know he's capable of doing likewise, of course. But Trump very much on the front foot. That's the ball he needed to ensure a 4-1 advantage. One more frame and he'll be guaranteed a lead going into session 2, but it could yet be sizable. That said, as mentioned earlier, he was 4-0 up in the World Grand Prix final last season and ended up only winning 3 more frames, so still too early to make too many predictions.
Good 75. Point that it was like that, and you know, it sort of petered out really his run in that event. Quite well beaten.
76.
You wouldn't want to be giving him Judd Trump a 4-frame lead, however. A lot of snooker to be played in these matches, but it's just a question of taking it piece by piece, and O'Sullivan needs some frames.
82.
And he needs to stop Judd Trump from playing quite like he is.
83.
He had a golden run in this event, O'Sullivan. Invariably, he just wins it every year. There must be a little bit of doubt in these early frames, and that's going to continue.
91.
1 better shot than it looked, actually, because
96.
he had no margin for error. He's coming so close to the red, it had to be pinpoint.
97.
So a century is coming. And I said there would be about 4, and I'll stick by that in this match. Maybe even more than that. The scoring
101.
power of both of these two.
103.
Yeah, Trump is scary when he gets on a roll like this. His long potting, brilliant. He's so positive, so attacking, the way he opened the reds. And the frames can fly by, just as O'Sullivan can do, of course. There's so many similarities in terms of the way they approach the game. They're very different players, but in terms of their attacking intent, well, that's what makes this rivalry so compelling. But what a break that was from Judd Trump, goodness me. That really is a statement of intent from him. Over to you, Ronnie O'Sullivan. His second century back-to-back and a 4-1 lead.
Something to remember. What a story we are seeing!
An unmissable 2024 cycling season. Live on Discovery Plus.
Our commitment is 2050.
C'est 2050. Je vous assure que nous atteindrons.
Renault Scenic E-Tech 100% electric. We changed everything but the name. Now available with 0% APR. Car of the Year 2024.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Gauntlet well and truly thrown by Judd Trump. He's moved up several levels, and Ronnie O'Sullivan has now got to try and respond. Back-to-back centuries. And the frame just now. A wonderful frame from Judd Trump. And he'll be really looking to kick on now, a la the Masters final in 2019, when he, as Neil has already alluded to, basically won the match in the first session. That said, of course, he'll be mindful of what happened when he played his first Shanghai Masters final, 5-0 and 7-2 up to John Higgins, who somehow found a way back to win.
Yeah, I mean, I think the early exchanges in frames are very important. If you can somehow manoeuvre the situation to be the first player of the two of you to actually get in. And he's lost a few of the exchanges. He did in the previous frame. That's why Trump got in with that century. And again, that's a good safety shot from Trump. Of course, there's Sullivan some bother here. No way through to any of those reds, according to player view. actually do so.
It's a big match, this, in more ways than one for Trump, I think, because it's not only the opportunity to get to his 4th Shanghai Masters final and finally get his hands on one of the few trophies to have eluded him, but if he can beat O'Sullivan in the process over 19 frames and end this losing streak, then that would stand him in good stead for the rest of the season. That psychological barrier overcome. So it would be a significant win in more ways than one today for Trump.
One wonders if a re-rack is about to happen here. O'Sullivan will decide to play up the table, or what he'll do. Maybe just to stop a re-rack, he will try something. Much he can do, really, with that red, though. Now the likelihood is they'll set these up, I think, depending on whether the players make eye contact and consider it. Well, at least that's in that slight stalemate. It's a bit cat and mouse, this frame so far.
Catching ball.
Black on the side cushion is not really beneficial to either player. But I think O'Sullivan needs to win it one way or another, this frame more than anything. Just win the frame. I think he's one of those dig in, but it's not really something you think about with him, but he desperately needs something on the board.
Catching ball.
Sullivan's only scored 4 points since he made the 95 clearance for 2-1. At the moment, all aspects of Trump's game on point. The safety, the long potting, the break building, it's all there for Trump at the moment. Vital from his point of view, though, that he converts this great start into a really tangible advantage at the end of this session. We saw what happened yesterday when Mark Selby was on top of Sean Murphy, led 6-2, but looked a little concerned at the end of the session when he came out at 6-3, when it might have been a 5-frame gap, and it proved to be significant. Trump caught that a bit thick, which is why the cue ball has caught the yellow.
Yeah, could have really done with that going in, and just been derailed a little bit, hasn't he, O'Sullivan? Same pocket, he missed that very easy red, and he's not been the same since. So where is O'Sullivan going to get scoring from? He's not getting many chances, and the half chances he is getting, he's not necessarily knocking in. Yeah, I mean, the plant was there, but he played it well and got the cue ball out for the blue. So, again, Trump is winning the early battles in frames, getting in first. That's what's emerging from this match so far.
7.
Not the best table at the moment. Yes, the reds are open, but both pink and black are awkward. Although Trump is great at engineering something significant from a difficult situation. He's done it time and time again, and he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. That whirlwind century in the previous frame was fantastic.
13.
Just wonder if we try and move the red and pink here. If you could just take the two balls away from each other, it would bring the pink into play. Yeah. He only had one scoring ball at the top end, and of course that was the blue itself. But with the opportunity just to shift a red away, pink now is very much in play. I think it goes to the right middle also. So he's thinking well, he's thinking positively.
$19.
Yeah, played it well. He had to hold there on this very fast bed and a slightly wider angle on the blue than he would have hoped for.
24. 25.
This time he's overscrewed. So a recovery shot required.
O'Sullivan's record in this tournament is extraordinary. Hasn't been beaten since 2016. But that record is increasingly under threat, given the way Trump is playing at the moment.
30. 31.
Wins this frame, guarantees himself a lead ahead of session 2, but the question then would be, how big is that lead going to be? At the moment, O'Sullivan can't get involved. He's pretty much been glued to his chair since that 95 clearance to halve the deficit to 2-1.
37. 38. 44. 45.
The significance of that short-range red that O'Sullivan missed out of nowhere when he was in early
50.
in the fourth frame is now magnified, because since then Trump has taken complete control.
'51.
Still got a bit to do to make it 5-1.
But it's been a good break, isn't it, with the black glued to the left cushion from the early part of the frame before this break ever started. He seemed to have just managed to keep it going. What he does, actually, you know, his break building is never going to be of complete classic positionally. He's always having to play recovery shots, but when he's going, he seems to do it all the time. Even here, it's been hard graft. A couple of times he looks to have gone out of position, but he's found a way back in. Another frame is on the brink. Needs another red. Follow this pink. So yeah, we're looking at a one-sided match so far, but there were 3 more frames 63 to come when this one is completed, and O'Sullivan needs to win it. 2 of them at least.
64.
Another frame ball comes and goes.
Trying to knock in another century, and I guess he feels that the black being on its spot will play a big part in that.
70. 71.
He's known as the Juggernaut, and it's an apt nickname because once he gets going, he's very difficult to stop, Judd Trump. Aside from the World Championship, he was last 8 AG finals titles. Of course, O'Sullivan produced similar heroics, but at the moment he's a spectator. Ever since he missed that red, he's not potted a ball.
84. 85.
1.
92. 93.
This for his third consecutive century. Brilliant stuff. Judd Trump
100.
determined to end this losing streak against Ronnie O'Sullivan. It stretches
102.
back 5 matches.
I think this is the better century of the three. The black was always safe. He only got the black into play when the frame was won,
105.
so that he could go on and make 3 in a row. We have seen it already this week because Joey Long made 3 in a row in his earlier matches, one of his matches against Barry Hawkins actually. But it's still a great achievement to knock in 3 back-to-back centuries, especially in a semi-final against Ronnie O'Sullivan.
120.
And now he's really cranked things up. Judd Trump playing beautifully.
Exhibition snooker from Judd Trump on the big occasion against the greatest player in history. It's some performance. He now leads 5-1.
Walker's snacks. They're just too good to share. Walker's snacks. Where do you hide yours?
One moment you're reading about another beast from the east, and the next... No. Go somewhere hot! You're a millionaire! Lotto makes 2 millionaires a week on average. Will you be next?
The iconic new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 is here on O2. Circle to search with Google lets you search anything on your phone without switching apps. Pre-order and get Samsung Galaxy Buds 3 Pro for an extra £20. Plus, roam freely in the EU, up to 25 gig. O2, see what you can do.
Book summer now with the Which Travel Brand of the Year 2024. Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust. After natural protected.
A hat-trick of centuries from Judd Trump. What a performance this has been. 986 now for his career, just 14 shy of joining Ronnie O'Sullivan in the 1,000 category. Of course, John Higgins is just 2 away. But this has been a devastating display of break building from Trump. From 2-1 to 5-1. Ronnie O'Sullivan has not potted a ball since he missed a pretty easy red early in the 4th frame when he had the chance to get out of the mini session at 2-all. Now he's in a world of trouble, not just because he's 4 behind, but the way that Trump is playing, the confidence he's displaying. He's going to take a lot of reeling in, you would think. So how does, by common consent, the greatest player of all time change the narrative here with 3 more frames to come in this first session?
Yes, a lot of unanswered points as well for O'Sullivan, and it basically comes down to you ending up not really playing any table time and a lot of thinking time in the chair. That's never any good. Here we are on the stats. Well, it's all about one player right now, Judd Trump, who's made 3 centuries in back-to-back in this match so far.
361 points without reply. O'Sullivan well used to meting out the kind of punishment he's experiencing right now. How is he going to respond? Not the best, but as Neil mentioned, so little table time. He'll be feeling cold. Another chance for Trump to get in.
One. Three.
If he could just run this through, bring out a couple of reds and get through on the black, that would be his shot of choice here.
4.
It's a good shot, that is, because he didn't have a wide angle on the black. Black didn't go in cleanly, but the fact that it didn't probably helped him get the cue ball up the table a little further. Well, I mean, this is the shot. If this goes right, and we saw him open the reds beautifully earlier from a straightish angle, there's always a chance you'll knock in a red, but he's going to have to go for this bunch here. Well, that's even more ominous in a way, because he did go into them, yes, but not with a great deal of force.
17.
He thought he could take 4 reds out, and he has. Looking unstoppable. He's in a real bubble of concentration where he's looking to just keep doing the same time and time again.
$23. 24.
Cue ball wasn't meant to go that far. Dropping it in, there is a red that pops to the right corner. The cue ball's going to be on the left side here. No way around it. But nothing seems to be stopping him.
We're a way off yet, but of course it's Ronnie O'Sullivan
29.
who holds the record of most points without reply. Did it against Ricky Walden in the 2014 Masters quarterfinals, 556.
Yeah, I was there that day. It was a complete demolition, as you can imagine. It was almost over before it started, that match. Now, this is important. Is he on the red?
37.
It must be tight, this. Well, yeah, I think it is tight. Might just go.
38.
Well, this will be in excess of 400 points without reply, with this black going in.
I think the beauty of this game is you never really know how it's all going to go, because early on he didn't look anything like this. The first couple of frames was a bit tentative, and so was O'Sullivan, but that's not really a fair judgment on the match, the early frames, because it could be sort of jostling for positions and a bit of tension in the air.
as you say, O'Sullivan could never have
53.
imagined that missing that red, which was a glaring error, very routine by his standards, would have been the catalyst for this onslaught.
Phone went off on the backswing there. He's got a tricky little shot here. The pot is not a problem. It's nothing like that. It's just he's going to cannon the other reds, and he knows that he could end up stuck in the reds or not getting the positional side right.
54.
Yeah, I mean, that's not ideal, but at least he's got a shot at the black. That's so well played. So well played. Made it look an easy shot, but as you can see from this overhead sort of camera, it wasn't.
$62.
Once again, not perfect. The frame's not won yet. We're looking at another century and all this, but he hasn't actually got enough points yet to get the frame won. That's the biggest concern. He's probably got to play this up into the yellow pocket, but he's going to have to go in. Well, frame's won now. Mathematically not until one more ball is potted, but now I think when this red does go in, which I'm sure it will, 4 in a row is possible, and it's not something you see or hear of every day.
68. $75. 76.
John Higgins also meted out this punishment, assuming Trump does go on to make a 4th century here. Back in the 2005 Grand Prix, 4 consecutive tons. Sean Murphy has done it. Neil Robertson's done it a couple of times, which will be no surprise to anyone, given how prolific he is in the break building stakes. Mark Allen, Stephen Maguire, Gary Wilson, Jack Lazowski, who of course did it to Sean Murphy at the UK Championship. That was incredible stuff.
He might have to think about the pink here. The black would be easier, clearly, but they can't get on the reds from the black because the pink's in the way. Ah, that's a shame. That's a shame for the stats people and for us.
It is a shame, but this is marvellous snooker from Judd Trump. A brilliant break. He's very disappointed not to have made a 4th century, but he'll be highly delighted as he powers into a 6-1 lead.
Something to remember. What a story we are seeing!
An unmissable 2024 cycling season. Live on Discovery Plus.
We love potatoes. So you can love Walkers. Walkers, Britain's most loved crisps.
Did you want one, love?
Vitality rewards you for getting active, with up to 2 months cashback on your premiums. Get in! Move forward with vitality.
We Buy Any Car branches are on average just 13 minutes away. Enter your reg number now at webuyanycar.com.
Ronnie O'Sullivan looking a little chastened as he breaks off in frame 8. He's been reduced to a passenger in this match by the brilliance of Judd Trump, who's put together 443 points without reply now. So close to making it 4 centuries in 4 frames. 106, 128, 127. And the break ending just now on 82. O'Sullivan hasn't seen a pot since he knocked in a green in frame 4.
Well, you can see one now. But how big will the pocket look to him, having not potted the ball for so long? Oh, brilliant. So that's the end of the unanswered points. 4 centuries in a row never happened. What's O'Sullivan got? Because the real important stat is the scoreline of 6-1. He's got to take these 2 frames, hasn't he? Otherwise, he's not going to win this Shanghai Masters in 2024. And as you say, he looks a little bit... someone has been on the receiving end, as he has been at the start of the frame. Sort of punishment he's handed out to a number of people himself.
Oh, goodness. Just after finally getting a bit of traction with that great long red and a really nice follow-up colour, he's now missed again. And I'm sure that's the cumulative effect of the pressure that Trump has applied.
Foul. Enemies. Trump 4.
Yeah, and he just made it this one, and there was a lot of anticipation of what was going to happen to the yellow. He knocked it on anyway. Getting on a red's not easy. Done okay. It's always going to finish there, though. It always plants itself, the cue ball, on those shots for some reason. No pot intended for once.
Jack Trump's 3.
This is ill-directed. You could see it a long way out, actually, that it was.
Jack Trump 6. Free ball.
Not sure the free ball's much use to him. Nor is having them replaced, really. Wonder he could maybe use the free ball. I don't know, try and pot something at long range without any real risk. They might try and roll the green in.
Green ball.
All other options, not much use to him. Yeah, it's worth the risk, I suppose. Slightly worrying though, isn't it? Because O'Sullivan missed the red to right corner. Now he's missed a pretty easy red to the left pocket as well. Left middle in this frame.
He looks a little battered and bruised right now, O'Sullivan. And that is entirely the result of Judd Trump playing superbly. But of course, if O'Sullivan were to be able to rally to win the last two frames of this session, as we saw yesterday, 6-3 is retrievable.
I think that the red bottom of the bunch might go. Not much else seems to. Wanted to be on something other than that one.
1.
Now this must go in. Very well done. That was a good shot. In a session that's gone completely against him.
5.
He knows had he missed that, then you'd expect Judd to win the frame again.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 13.
Just not happening for the Rocket. He stayed down on that one, which is normally a sign that there's concern that it's not reaching its intended destination.
Yeah, I'd be really annoyed, O'Sullivan, because he just started to do a little bit of the hard work. The couple of balls he'd knocked in, got the reds open, he got things happening, and then missed the red to middle, and that was that. Now he's in a snooker that he's got to find a way out of, and I'm not sure he's feeling all that great, so I wonder if he'll just lunge at these. I'm not sure what other option he's got. The two-cushion glance, maybe. Hit the right edge of the bottom right red. Oh, that was the plan. Oh, goodness, it's gone completely wrong. It's one-way traffic today, this.
One. Blue ball.
Yeah, not a great kiss, but he at least he split up the blue and pink to make them both more easily accessible.
6. Seven.
That was very fortunate. He knew nothing of that. And that's the kind of break you get when you're 6-1 up and playing well.
Absolutely.
Just let his cue just go through those, and a series of kisses, he's perfect on the black. But you have to take these breaks when they come, lucky breaks. Very popular player in these parts, Judd Trump, but not quite as popular as the man he's up against.
Well, he'll certainly feel he's due a victory over Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's been on the wrong end of it 5 times on the spin, but of course prior to that, for a period he seemed to have O'Sullivan's number. Those 3 consecutive Northern Ireland Open final victories by 9-7, the Masters win in 2019
23
among the highlights, and so far this has been a devastating response to those recent reverses.
Yeah, but I think in this frame it'll hurt O'Sullivan more because he has had a chance or two. Some of the others he just had to sit and watch. He's kind of watching again now, but on the as a consequence of not taking the chances himself. Missed a couple of important balls.
.30
Again, it looks absolutely perfect. And I'd be surprised if he didn't win the frame here. Still got a bit of work to do.
.36
Needs 2 more reds.
.43 .44
The World Championship performance against Jack Jones, as well as Jones played, of course, was an aberration in what was otherwise an outstanding season. Yet another one from Judd Trump. Just about got behind the red as he wants, so this for 7-1. Who would have believed this scoreline at the outset?
52
Brilliant stuff from Trump. When he's in this mood, yes, he's had a bit of luck in this frame, but the vast majority of what he's done today has been all skill.
58
Not even O'Sullivan can live with this, and that's the uniqueness of this sport, that
59
when your opponent's playing as Trump is, there's nothing O'Sullivan or anyone else can do except sit and admire.
Oh, now that for a shot. How well was that judged? Yeah, I mean, look, he's always got this kind of performance in him, Trump. It's such a blend of break building and some dazzling shots, an array of shots that he's got, which no other player really has.
That's right, he's a unique talent, Trump. He plays the game in a way that's all his own. Incredible shot maker. Maybe he doesn't have the forensic cue ball control of O'Sullivan, but his ability to keep a break going. There's no ball on the table that's safe when he's in this mood. It's been a fantastic performance. There's just one frame to come, and if this is going to be a contest, needless to say, O'Sullivan absolutely has to win it to have something to grab onto at the end of this session. 7-1 down. So we'll have a look at the tail of the tape. It doesn't make pretty reading for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Made that 95 clearance to make it 2-1, and you thought, well, he's got himself involved in the game. Had an early chance in the fourth, missed a short-range red for no apparent reason. Since then, it's all gone pear-shaped for him. But that's down to this man's snooker, which has been quite brilliant. 443 points without reply at one stage, very nearly 4 straight centuries.
It's all about confidence, this game. If you're good enough, as Trump is and O'Sullivan is, of course, we know all that. But if you can get a run, you can do what Trump has done. And we're going to see all the stats. The pot rate still baffles me. I don't know what it means. What is the 79% of Judd Trump? Because if it was pot success, clearly he'd be way up into the big numbers. And of course, O'Sullivan's pot rate, I don't think it's really changed very much. Anyway, that stat we'll just forget about. The others are completely dazzling, aren't they? Including the breaks that are coming in. Even in the frames that have not been centuries, there have been sizable breaks. And all of a sudden, he's on the rampage, Trump.
And 705 points, plays 166. Extraordinary, really. Can he put the icing on the cake in this final frame of the first session? 10, of course, is the target to play Sean Murphy.
Well, he gets supported anyway, doesn't he, Sullivan, wherever he plays, but on the back of what we know about someone that's behind generally gets the support of the crowd, then he should get absolutely rapturous support in this frame. I mean, as Philip said, he just needs it, and he needs a lot more after this one as well tonight.
6.
He needs this frame, and he needs to win a lot of the early frames this evening, or else this game is over.
7.
But ultimately, Trump still needs to win 3 frames. So he's still got work to do, but he hasn't got to win 9 frames like this man. Oh, you're joking. Oh, you're joking.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 7.
What happened there?
好了，请大家保持安静，谢谢。
For whatever reason, O'Sullivan just has not been engaged today. Think back to the red he missed in that 4th frame, which grew in significance as this session unfolded. But there's another inexplicable error, except to say that he's taken a battering, and inevitably that takes its toll mentally, even on Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's not particularly used to being on the wrong end of treatment like this. He's much more familiar with dishing it out.
Eight.
It's been an incredible run for O'Sullivan in this tournament. Inevitably, it has to end at some point.
9.
Barring something remarkable, it's going to be today, the way things are going.
$16.
Far from ideal queuing here for Trump. But at the moment,
17.
everything is coming easy to him.
Nice little shot there, and the balls are absolutely prime now. I mean, they really are. This is like a little
25.
practice session you might put up as a routine to get yourself started. Balls are absolutely perfect. Small for choice
32.
here. This red to middle would be handy. It would free up that area of the table, but if he doesn't want to play it, he's got other choices. Thinks it goes. It didn't seem likely
33.
from the overhead camera view, but it did pot. And what's going to stop him winning another frame? Sullivan might be thinking about how this session has just descended into this. And the bottom line is he's missed 3 very easy balls. A red to right corner, a red to left middle, and that black where it was easy, very, very easy, but he shook his head when he got down on it because he didn't have a great angle on it to get onto the next ball, but to miss it altogether, the pot, that did not seem to be anywhere in the frame.
Thank you. 39. $40. 47. 48. 55. 56.
Not much more required. Red colour, and probably one more red just to cement it. Although I think if it gets to the snooker's required stage, and John was to miss, I think Ronnie will just be looking for the door anyway. I think
64.
He's had enough for this session.
When they met in the final here in 2017, it was Trump on the wrong end of a drubbing 10-3. He's threatening something even more comprehensive here. And since 2017, of course, O'Sullivan has won
71.
Every one of these Shanghai Masters, 4 in a row, including the COVID interruption.
Yeah, I mean, the nature of snooker is that while you get 2 evenly matched great players, the nature of the game is that only one player can be at the table. So if you are on the receiving end, there's literally nothing you can do, and you can get landslides like this. We've seen it before in snooker. One player totally dominant, the other player out of sorts. And I think
78.
Either the red that he missed early in the match, O'Sullivan to right corner, affected his confidence, or maybe gave Judd a boost. Either way, it's a freakishly easy scoreline between 2 great players who are quite evenly matched. But he's good for it, Judd Trump. He deserves to be miles in front.
84.
He's got better and better as the session has gone on, from a fairly average first couple of frames.
Looking to put the icing on the cake. It's been a wonderful session for him with a 4th century, his 7th of this tournament.
Foul.
Oh, what a shame. He managed to pop the red. Unfortunately for him, the white went in as well. But what a performance. Ronnie O'Sullivan must wonder what's hit him there. Quite brilliant stuff from Trump. 443 points without reply at one stage. Even he looks surprised at how dominant he's been in that opening session. And when they come back this evening, he'll need just 2 more frames for a place in the final. He leads 8-1. Well, there's a sense of shock almost around this wonderful Shanghai indoor stadium at what Judd Trump has just done to Ronnie O'Sullivan. Of course, O'Sullivan has done similar things to many opponents down the years, but he's been on the wrong end of it today. Trump, quite brilliant. 3 centuries and a surely unassailable 8-1 lead. As we look at the stats once again, 796 points to 177. Not sure what odds you'd have got on that at the start of this match. Not least, of course, because O'Sullivan had won 5 in a row against Trump coming in, but Trump is set to end that losing streak in the most emphatic fashion. O'Sullivan needs a minor miracle. Even if he plays well tonight, surely there's too much to do. So it's looking likely to be Trump against Murphy for the Shanghai Masters title. Unless O'Sullivan can conjure something akin to a miracle. Well, of course, we'll be back for the concluding session on Discovery Plus from 12:30 UK time. Paris Olympics just days away, and you can watch it live and in full, of course, with us here on Eurosport and across our digital platform. What a performance from Judd Trump today. A hat-trick of centuries, 443 points without reply, and an incredible 8-1 advantage over Ronnie O'Sullivan. As mentioned, they come back at 12:30 UK time. O'Sullivan is going to need something extraordinary. You can watch the concluding session on Discovery Plus, and there'll also be highlights from 6 o'clock tonight on Eurosport 1 if you're watching in the UK. Dave Hendon and Stephen Hallworth will be here to bring you the finale. Can O'Sullivan somehow mount a fight back? Join them later to find out.
The iconic new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 is here on O2. Circle to search with Google lets you search anything on your phone without switching apps. Pre-order and get Samsung Galaxy Buds 3 Pro for an extra £20. Plus, roam freely in the EU, up to 25 gig. O2, see what you can do.
This is elite-level rescuing. Local garages are vying for a coveted place in the Green Flag network. Runcorn repairs fueling up. Salisbury looking nervous. And they're away. What a start from Bexley Autos. Glencoe Garage, a stumble and down he goes. Onto the sheet now. Nature's traffic jam. Runcorn out in front, but anything can happen in the fog. Oh, Salisbury stepped up a gear. It's neck and neck. She's going to take it. Sensational repair. Only first-rate rescuers get to join our local breakdown network. Only the best get the Green Flag.
Swing by Aldi for this week's Great Value Super 6.
Always horsing around, eh, Kevin?
From just 29p, this week's Aldi Super 6 is the perfect balance of quality and value.
Talk about winning prices.
When you see the Ryobi cordless pole hedge trimmer next to a conventional hedge trimmer, it's a hedge of two halves. The cordless Ryobi trimmer gets to work in seconds, with no petrol emissions or tangles. The 45cm diamond ground blade slices through branches up to 18mm thick, with a 4-position articulating head and an extension pole giving 2.9 metres extra reach. There's no need to set foot on a ladder. So next time the hedge needs trimming, ask yourself what side of the hedge you'd rather be on. Buy the Ryobi pole hedge trimmer with a 1+ battery, charger, 3-year warranty and free delivery now for just £149.99, saving £80. Plus free safety glasses worth $13.99 at ryobitools.co.uk.
In a couple of days, thousands of athletes will arrive in Paris for the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
Good luck to all athletes on their journey to Paris. Toyota. Start your impossible.
And Mafflin looking terrific so far. This is the last frame before the interval. Mafflin has won 2 of the first 3 this morning. He leads 7-4.
Yeah, I think it would have hurt John, the way that those last couple of frames have gone, the way that his opponent has stepped up a little bit, I think.
That's right, because Higgins has tried to use his experience, put pressure on this morning, and Mafflin has responded really well.
Has he left the red on, the one that he's closest to? He may have. That was a surprise. He missed that by quite a long way.
One. Higgins, I'm sure, will feel he needs to counter-attack here. And just try and reduce that confidence that Mafflin clearly has been feeling this morning. Make him dwell on an error. But that's the beauty of Championship snooker. You've got the game itself, which is hard enough. You've got all the mind games as well in the background. The psychology, which makes it such a fascinating watch. Yeah, another sizable break for Selby, so he's put together 3 good frames there to lead 3-1 at the interval.
9. $16. 17.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he knows he's got to make a counter-attack here, but if he could come out of this session at 2-all, he kind of still 24. There hanging on, knowing that he's got an opportunity to get some frames under his belt. But if he lost this one and fell further behind, then he really, I think, would start to feel uncomfortable out there.
25. $32.
Well,
33.
I'll make this the 5th black coming up.
Yes, should have been a 147 last night, shouldn't they, on this very side of the table with Steve Maguire. Looked, I thought he was, at one point, looked like he really was going to make one.
Well, Kurt Mafflin, of course, had a chance in the first round. Ended on 105.
I wonder if he's got any interest in continuing on the black here. I think if he runs this red through, we know he's got a choice of playing with that or another one. I mean, I never understand with breaks, you know, you always say it wins one frame and you've got to look at the match context, but if the break prize is high, and we've had some huge break prizes here, then really maybe the answer is to go for them if the chance is on rather than win the frame.
$55,000 in total, 40,000 for the maximum, 15 for the high break. That's the prize.
It's a lot of money just to say, well, I'd rather just be sure win the frame, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Well, he's had 9 maximums, Higgins, never won at the
48.
Crucible. There's very few things he's never done in the game, but this would be a first for him.
Yeah, he's played that nicely, Dave.
49.
Well, Crucible maximums have been a rarity in recent years, haven't they? 2012. When you think the man who made it, Stephen Hendry, has been retired for since then, basically, all those years. No one's got near.
Well, I've only ever had 10, and they've been made by 6 different players.
That's not a good shot.